Recording in progress.
Panelist here and
Miss the puppy.
getting any better with this
She's still here.
preamble part, right? Help me with the preamble.
Sure. Yep. Yeah. Yes, I'll share my screen and I get my.
Is there any,
panel.
so no one's joining remote?
I don't believe so.
Okay, all right.
No.
So that means we're all, we don't need roll call.
Is this the actual puppy?
No.
No. Okay.
I saw that puppy, but he had a little aggressive. Like, I don't want to go over. Oh, they appreciate that. But I did want to.
Ready.
All right, I'll start. I'll call this meeting to order. Today is the September monthly meeting of the Open Space and Recreation Committee. The public's intended to attend in person or view this meeting at the posted Zoom link. And did I forget anything on that? So.
Yeah, you can visit
Yeah.
if you have any problems, but
So, I am, the Vice Chair, Mark Poulin, Chair, Dan Morris is absent at the moment. Is he in transit? Will he be joining us?
you will not be joining.
Okay, again, calling me to order. Do we have a member who can act as the note taker for this?
Didn't bring my laptop, so somebody else does.
There are AI Zoom notes. Oh, like Zoom can take minutes, but if you want, like I could fill in and, you know, look
We
at
can
the,
do them years ago when we got behind by a dozen, we all just used the video to do them. You
right,
can always do using the video. That's my preferred way to do them anyway,
I
so.
don't have the time to
Right.
redo them.
Yeah.
So if
Yeah,
somebody
yeah.
else either wants to take them quicker, I can,
Use my laptop. Or you don't want to do it?
I can, yes, if
Okay.
you don't mind. No, do you need it though for,
I mean, no, it's okay.
you just,
What do you want to?
if you, I like to copy this into a Word document and then take them right into the agenda, so I don't have to,
Oh, right. Yeah,
right?
you just do them, put them right on.
I would just, as we talk, I just put it right under the
Okay.
topic and then perfect. Thank you.
So I'll do introductions. We have Eric Kinderly, we have Dave Sargent, we have Tamara, we have Chris Leahy, I'm forgetting his name, Kate.
Kate Parsons.
Right, and Adrian, so Adrian Sweet and myself, Mark Poulin. So absent tonight is Richard Quaitman and
Dave Martin.
Dave Morrow and
Dan Morris.
and Dan Morris, absent, okay. Are there any,
He is a big feat.
are there any minutes to approve tonight?
I didn't see it.
I think we're a couple meetings.
Two meetings
we're
behind,
Two
yes.
meetings
Sorry,
behind.
guys.
it is not,
Well, you weren't here. Yeah, we'll figure out how to get caught up on those. I can maybe take one and just watch the video someday. If you miss them, I actually don't mind doing them that way, because sooner get caught up on the meeting, right?
Mm,
Versus having to sit in the meeting and then just
Yeah.
watch it all again.
That's actually not a bad idea.
Right. So there's two that we're missing behind that, so.
Richard retire or something?
he did, that's the next,
So the next, so up next on the administrative briefings is the update on membership, staff support, and issues related to the processes of this group. So Eric, if you wanna.
yes, so Richard is not stepping down tonight, is Rosh Hashanah, so that's why he can't make it. But he is staying on the committee. At a talk with Dan about it, and he's good to go, and so we will have him and have his expertise, and you know,
Great.
I'm very thankful that he's staying on, so that's really
Very
good.
good.
Yeah.
All right, that's it. Next up is the update from the open space representative to the CPC. Kate?
Yes, so, the September meeting was last night. I mentioned this last time. Did anyone attend last night?
I watched it today.
Okay. So, the city, being Mr. Hindley here, presented on the East Gloucester School project. It's basically, I don't know. You want to show the new graphic?
Yeah, I think I probably should,
The
right?
new, they sent us a schematic at like 3:20 for a 6 o'clock meeting, so I haven't, you don't need to put that in the minutes. So.
Graphic shared.
You say a new schematic, you mean a new layout
Um,
or a new?
yeah, a new plan, basically. So there is a new scaled back plan that they are asking for funding from the CPA funding for. And I went to a site visit with Mike Hale a couple of weeks ago. And the idea is to keep the basic functionalities and areas that were in the what was apparently a visioning plan, which is what the community engagement created. But they did the pricing for that, the playground in that visioning plan, and it was prohibitively expensive. And DPW felt that they could not maintain it as well. And so, and there was the demolition, I think, cost more than expected, and other things cost more than expected, and prices went up during the planning process, and for a variety of reasons, there is not as much money as they had hoped to complete it. As you can see here, the basic kind of fundamentals of green space on the left, the larger green space is there. The playgrounds, the idea is that there'll be 2 playgrounds for different ages. And then the green space on the right, the perimeter path, still meant to be ADA compliant. People can still use to kind of do their walking around. The entire park is still there. The parking lot's still about the same. I think it's about 30 spaces. Yeah, and so.
Basketball hoop looks like it's gone.
You know, it is in
It-
this plan. We chatted with
Is
Mike
it still
about
there?
it during the, so.
Yeah.
We chatted with Mike about it during the site visit. And at that point, he said he thought there could be like a pickup basketball.
Yeah, it was
site
only one hoop.
possibly.
It was only
Yeah.
one hoop, and it wasn't meant to be a whole full official court. It was meant to someone to just go play.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Shoot, yeah.
So I don't think that that's necessarily, I think this is a preliminary plan.
Okay.
That's, it's a schematic. I don't think it's the final version. So we made it pretty clear as a committee that they needed to come up with a budget, which they do not have yet. Things still feel pretty fishy where that's concerned. And so it was made clear to Mike and to Eric last night that the CPC needs a budget before next month, which is when we start deliberating on these requests. So that's where we are. Questions for me?
I guess with respect to public input, and, we had all those meetings at City Hall, right?
Yep.
And people voted on option 1 or 2,
Mhm.
and then option 2 advanced. Got to a point where it went to CPC funding, apparently is being scaled back to some extent.
Yeah, we,
So how, what's the messaging want to be on that, and who delivers that message? And
yeah, I mean, it's kind of the reality of, we want to have a good open space. We want this to be a special place. We're also within the confines of a budget, and a lot of the moving playground equipment, there was like a spinning cage and some other things that just, it was going to be too much. A lot of the shade structures that were in hammock, they weren't hammocks, they were like benches.
swing.
And it's those kind of swing structures that there was it was a visioning plan with our design consultants, and it did take in a lot of the feedback, and people requested those items, but they are expensive and they're prone to breaking is the message that I've received. And
Yeah, I can imagine. I mean,
and then the shade structures as well. It was kind of there was a lot of demand for trees, native
Mhm.
trees. So, and also it's more expensive if you get larger diameter trees, which I think is the goal, not just like the thin
Saplings that take
saplings
20
that take
years to
forever.
get-
So you wanna, whether that can be, depending on the size of them, we do want them to be kind of thicker in diameter. It gets into the
I don't know, wasn't there like
tens of
an
thousands.
amphitheater, like
Yeah.
granite?
Yeah. That as well. So there were some noise concerns. It's kind of placed in sort of a bowl. And where the playground was kind of
It was off to the right.
off to the right here. There was a lot of concern by the neighbors that it would just be way too noisy. Also,
Screaming kids in a playground are gonna be just.
it's gonna be, yeah, right, but having it out into there's another thing about kind of preserving the sort of open field of Maxwell Parsons field a little bit
Right.
more. And then just the playground would have to be a little bit bigger because you do need sort of age separated playgrounds.
Ball
So the
zones and
footprint,
such, yeah.
yeah, so there's, you want swings to be, for the older group and then like, child swings to be separate, like younger people.
Kid running
separate.
behind a swing as it's going.
Right, exactly. So, and then just the play structures themselves, so that adds more cost to do that. However, the overall plan is kind of very similar, this space, I forget the entire acreage, but it is and almost as big as that open field. There's no more moguls.
Right.
That was
there was
another
those-
thing,
that
because
was
the
tough.
maintenance of that
Right,
was.
how do you mow those with
Right.
with the
That
machines?
always seemed a
right?
little-
And people wanted that
Yeah.
though, when it was presented, so I do feel bad that those are, but when you get down to the nitty gritty of actually delivering it in within a budget, like a mogul costs a lot of money and it costs money to maintain and so it has been scaled back on some of those structures, the shade structures, swing structures, but the overall plan is very similar. So
It doesn't mean that 5 years down the road, someone can't fund a
A
shade
mogul or
structure.
shade
or-
structure,
or-
right.
or fund some other
Right.
features. Those
Mhm.
things can come in other forms,
I
fundraising.
actually
and other-
like this minimalized,
It
like.
is, it's
I
minimal,
mean,
yeah.
It's still serving the needs
Yeah.
of playground, open space.
Exactly, and I think the desire for that big open green space, the
Mhm.
desire for shade trees, the desire for the track that goes all the way around, that can be used by anybody. That it is primarily,
Just-
kids,
Yeah.
it's a good
The
thing.
track perimeter roughly the same?
I think so.
yeah,
Looks a little-
it's
about the
a
same, yeah.
little bit less, but
Okay.
not by much. I forget how much.
Isn't it gonna be like 1/3 of a mile? So
Yeah.
it's like 3 laps around.
Somebody
create a
wanted it to
full
be like
mile.
Yeah, it's
some,
almost like Burnham. Burnham, I think if you run around 3 times, it's a mile, and I
mile.
think this is almost that same
Okay.
size.
people have their steps on their phone.
Yes.
They don't
Right.
need, yeah, you can figure it out yourself.
Exactly. But also, with the trees, there's going to be a little bit more of these shade trees.
Good.
Around the path, there's benches. We don't know exactly where these benches will be in the end, but there will be benches.
Next steps for our committee,
Yeah.
anything for us
Well,
or?
because this has, what's the word I'm looking for? It has changed from what that
Change in
public
scope.
process.
Yeah, it was a change
So
in
it's,
scope.
it's not really open space committee, like, even the other design wasn't, you
Right.
guys held it. Those conversations and the city
Right.
really appreciated it. But this is deviated, I don't wanna say deviated, but like, it is different. So there's not really much else, but if you guys wanna voice.
Well, the public,
Support
I mean,
for
the
it, we
public,
would
I
like
care
those
more about the public,
comments.
so the public can still weigh in
Yeah.
at public meetings
yeah.
on CPC.
Mhm.
Right, so they can still weigh in on
Yes, yeah.
CPC. It's
Mary
good.
Boucher was there last night
Right,
with her
and it-
family.
Great, excellent, and it can still, has to go through budget and finance, it's gonna, there's,
Yeah.
there's 3 or 4 more reviews or whatever along the way. so
Yeah,
That's
city
good.
councilors,
Yeah.
like, so for a basketball hoop. Again, I know it's missing on this, but that can be accommodated somehow. Again, that's sort of what we need to hear. I'm not even gonna speculate where that would be put in, but
And what would have to go to make it feasible and yeah,
Right,
if there's a compromise there if they want it.
so it's probably not gonna go
But
down.
isn't there one at Swenson's, which is literally less than a mile away?
There is, yeah. That's
Could there
too, but
be-
it's, it was a place here, people wanted the
Yeah,
the
I know.
basketball hoop here.
Just saying, there is one in the neighborhood at least. It's
Yeah.
not like it's
That's a court.
a full court.
Mhm.
Yeah. I see, but.
I kind of think that this is the visioning plan of light, if
Yeah.
you will, and it's a lot easier down the road to maintain. So it, I mean, you could have all kinds, you have Ferris wheel and, all kinds of things, but then in 5 years, it's not
Right,
there.
no, we've heard the challenges from DPW, even at Burnham's, replacing the swings every.
Well, the water
Yeah.
park at Burnham's, did we even get one summer, right?
I
Like
think
it
it was
was,
one
or
summer.
was it maybe?
Yeah,
Right.
was
I
it?
mean, it's not realistic.
Right.
So, I think this fits the bill.
All right.
I think we back the basic idea, and this is that idea of light, if you will.
Yeah, I think it's, thank you. So is there anything else that we? Yeah. All right, well, we'll move on. Thank you. Next is, next is on regular business is semi-annual report. I guess we're gonna skip that unless did Dan post any draft or anything that we want to look at?
He
We
sent
can
it out to the committee. I can,
I think we should wait for him.
wait for him to weigh in.
All right, well, does it need to be in? I guess we won't have another meet, I don't know, when's it due?
It's, per the ordinance, it's October.
We're not gonna meet again until the 21st or whatever, right? or something?
Yeah. But he did send out a draft and you can like send your comments back to me
Okay,
and
Okay.
Dan.
I mean, it's a recap of what we did, so it's not like
Just
it's,
Dave
yeah,
Marrow sent one, just saying it looked good.
okay,
There's the Magwoods.
yeah. We should, I know I'm bad at this, we should say that it looks good, not say anything unless it's bad, right? That's right, because then
Right,
you
we
know
should at
people
least-
read it.
We should at least
right,
acknowledge it, correct.
exactly,
So maybe
acknowledge
we make it a action item. We all acknowledge the
Yeah,
annual
let's do
report
it.
before October.
it. Right, let's do that.
Okay.
Sounds like a plan.
Looks good.
Yeah, no, I get,
I'm gonna send a thumbs up.
yeah, I fall into that trap sometimes.
I do
It's like,
too.
Oh, who does a Yelp report for a restaurant they really like?
No,
right? Okay, Eric, extending the term of open space in the recreation plan?
Yes, so we're finalizing that. It's the 7-year action plan stretched out over 10 years, so it's basically adding few years onto it in order to be eligible for like DLS grants for the next. Yeah, so this would make it expire in 2032. I did find the action plan. I don't know if I put the 10-year action plan into the
Google
Google Drive.
Thought you
I thought I did.
I thought you did too.
I looked it in, I couldn't
I think
find it, but
it seemed like all you did was, needed to do, I guess, is
It
amend.
just- I mean, it should have
amend the
been-
date, right? Yeah.
yeah, it
Yeah,
should have
I
just
thought-
been automatically extended, but it's an
Okay.
interesting like look back, like, there has been some conservation successes. To Normandy, Poles Hill, the prioritization of North Gloucester Woods and Dogtown, like we can actually say that, it is a focus in the city now.
There's some accomplishments we can, yeah.
And there's some that we can mark off the Green Street. I mean, those were part of a school project, but some improvement in recreational fields, the playgrounds that were updated. There's a lot of resiliency things and like preservation of marsh areas that we haven't really. That was a kind of something we need to maybe work on or look at as a city, but I do think it would, I believe you mentioned, or maybe it was Dave Marrow as well, that, it should be this living document that we continually assess and, I sort of apologize not having it up there as like something that we're consistently addressing, but you guys are addressing a lot of things, so it's like, it's not like this committee has a lack of stuff to do, but it's,
What was the section 9, or what's the section where it said the 1 to 3, 3 to 5, 5
Yeah.
to 7? Does that have to be, how does it, how do you extend out now to 10?
5 to 7, 7 to 10.
Well, well,
That's, I'm not trying to,
no, but
that's sort of what it is. It's like some of those we haven't gotten into at all.
right.
So you
But-
put the timeline kind of later.
Yeah, I
Um,
guess, yeah. I'm just thinking
that's
like,
what
don't
I've
use it
done.
as an excuse to
You
kick.
could always change it like short-term, midterm, long-term.
Yeah, that's sort of the
It's
idea
what
of
the
it.
idea of it is anyway,
Right,
section
but
9. yeah.
you know, if you, I mean, if the numbers are important, just, you know, put the words in. The short-term, midterm, long-term.
Well, I mean, I think it's a set document from the
Yeah,
state.
it has,
You know, we go by the state template.
Right.
It's-
so that's what I still haven't completely finished it, but it looks like the OSRP plan and it's like inputting like, you know, current status and, it's like ongoing, you know, completed. We don't have many that are like absolutely completed. So it's still very much a work in progress. But we're gonna turn it in. We're pretty confident we're gonna get the 3-year extension on it. So, yeah.
Any questions? No, we're good, all right. Moving quick today. So the next up is access and signage at open space properties and trailheads. Chris and Amra?
So Tomer and I took on this list of the open spaces. I'm not sure where that was generated originally. It was in alphabetical order to begin with. So we did a little rearranging and sort of divided the open spaces up into several categories, including, you know, city parks, beaches, athletic fields, wooded parks. I think those were the sort of the basics. And then went through and visited pretty much all of these and created and Tomer also created a spreadsheet format so that we could do a progress thing. We haven't quite gotten to that stage yet, but as you'll see, but so we visited these and then we created, or I'll take credit for the narrative because maybe it wasn't so eloquent, I don't know. But we created narratives for each of these things that gave the address, where exactly it was, a characterization of the property, and then comments, you know, some of them somewhat critical or whatever. And I think you also have seen that document, et cetera. So
I hope you didn't start from scratch.
what's that?
I hope you didn't start too much from, because a lot of that was on the open space plan, that inventory. the
Yeah,
list.
well, I wanted, you know, oddly enough, I kind of
hope
got
you didn't-
interested. And it was interesting to see some of these places. I thought, you know, I've been here for a long time and I'm interested in
Yeah,
being out in open spaces.
no, there is a lot in the open space plan, and there's a pretty good
No,
list of all.
I missed that, but in a way, I'm kind of glad in a way, in reality.
Yeah,
But
you've got
it was also like, oh,
Because-
seeing it, you know, seeing it
it
in
organic.
my own perspective, et cetera. So, and I found myself in addition to that, the things I've noted, also adding some critiques, because that was one of the things that you all were interested in was, you know, some terrible signage in a lot of places and various things. And boy, is there some terrible signage in a variety of ways, not only the signs themselves. You're all familiar with the Magnolia Woods
Yeah,
thing that you can't even read or whatever.
the East Gloucester one too.
But there's, yeah, that's right. But there's also, well, I should also say that there's some excellent signs that are done by, you know, private entities like the trustees of reservations, Greenbelt, things like that, at these wooded sites, which have, you know, most of them have an excellent sign to begin with at the entrance, that gives you the big picture and not just, here's the trail, but different habitats and points of interest. And then at several places along the way, because a lot of these trails are like, you know, where am I now? They give you that piece of guidance as to, you know, this way back or whatever it is. So there are some very good signage. There are also, one of the things that I pulled out is that in some places, there's just this horrible glomming of signs,
Mhm.
just,
Too many,
Huh?
too many, you mean, or?
Too many and redundant.
All right,
So if you want to, one classic example of it, you happen to be in the neighborhood, check out the little opening, small parking area at Plum Cove Beach. And it's got 12 different signs. About 3 of them are about what you do about your dog, et cetera. And it's just kind of a mess. And so that's a whole thing that we'll have to sort of sort out at some point. So that's kind of what we've sort of done. And what I would like to do is to sort of ask the committee some kind of questions as kind of, well, okay, we've got this kind of basic description and whatever, kind of where do we go from here? Number one is, have we captured all of the open spaces? I know we haven't actually, because I found some open spaces, and I'm not just talking about some little space on the road that I thought, oh, that should be a park, but places that are actually open spaces. I talked to you about one over in Wheeler off Wheeler. But there are a number of them like that, which I think should be included, but I think the committee should revisit that list. And if there are ones that are like, oh, well, what about this? And what about this? And what about this? You know, let's make sure that the document is as complete as it can be if we're going to go on farther with this document. The other thing that came up more or less in that context is, well, what is a park? For example, the fisherman statue is on that list. Okay, and, you know, there's some space around it, like whatever. So if that's a park, what about the Joan of Arc statue? Is that a park?
No,
No,
you can't park by the Joan of Arc.
I would just sit
How do you-
and ponder it.
There's no parking there.
no parking there, so it's not a park. Is that?
Maybe it's like a historic site, right?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah.
Well, isn't that what the
open
fisherman
space?
statue is as
Oh,
well?
yeah, so classify as
So maybe there's another,
monument.
maybe there's another category of monuments.
I think
Oh.
the fisherman statue is a monument in a park. Joan of Arc statue is just a monument.
There's also
And
a
a rotary.
boat ramp there, which is maintained by the county, right?
Sure it is.
At the fisherman statue, yeah.
Yeah, so
Does that
like,
make it a park?
yeah, and who puts the signs there, you know?
I think the boulevard's a park because, you know, are you gonna say the Fisherman's Wife statue is a park? Are
So
you
the
gonna say?
boulevard
that's
is
right.
the
It
park.
isn't on
and the
this list
statue is a
we have.
monument on the park.
Yeah,
That's what
Right, so I would say that
So you say the whole boulevard is a park.
would be
Yeah.
considered the park or the open
Okay.
space.
But there are a lot of
Open space.
subsets kind of, so you
Right.
want
Yeah,
to
there's
describe them.
gardens
Mixed use,
and
maybe.
paths.
Oh, yeah,
Right,
no,
yeah.
and there's some commemorative pieces as well.
That's
you
right.
know,
And
that are
recreation
within that
areas.
broader kind of thing. Okay.
Could be included on, I mean, is it Stage 4 Park? I just saw an old map and like one side of the bridge is the boulevard, the other side is actually considered like Stage 4. It was like interesting, like Stage 4 starts at the Cut Bridge and that path down.
Well, that's interesting.
I know, the
didn't-
map
I
was
didn't
like-
encounter that, but then, and the other thing is there's the, what's it called? It's the dog beach, you know,
Crab Beach.
crab beach.
That's recent though. Someone named it and
Yeah,
it
but it's,
stuck.
but it's
Yeah.
a park.
I know, but like it does have another historic name.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
I was just looking at.
Anyway,
stuff.
so some
Yeah.
things to be sort of sorted out there. But again, big picture, if there are places that are like, oh my God, that definitely needs to be in there, kind of just.
So you say a list exists. Have we cross-referenced those lists at all?
That, I don't know, that's what.
I haven't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With
Well,
the,
that's a
with
good
the
The open,
starting point.
in the open space, in the 500 pages of open space plan, one of those
Maybe
appendices,
that's the reason.
what, well,
like I could, yeah.
one of those appendices has,
War and peace first.
A list of open spaces.
yeah, it's a list of parks and open spaces.
Okay.
As it relates to signs or just the list?
No, just a list, and not as it relates to signs. Signs,
Okay.
Yeah.
you know, maybe you don't want, I guess I shouldn't say that, but I don't know if it's the desire to have a sign on every single one. No, right? And so it's just identifying the ones maybe in need of some refreshing or.
Well, and again, to what extent do we want to extend the signage agenda to, just the look? I mean, again, there are 5 entrances to the beach at Good Harbor. And each one of them has a glomming of signs.
Right.
And again, there's great repetition. Now, you know, one reaction is, well, so what? That's Gloucester style or something.
Yeah.
If I were running the show, I'd thin things out, have a more, you know, this is what the dog sign is, this is what the such and such sign is, et cetera. And then there's some big, you know, wooden signs that have anybody that wants to put something up, they can. And a lot of it's kind of like,
Kiosky kind of thing.
Yeah.
yeah, sort of thing. So anyway, those are,
Yeah. So we're never gonna stop finding new places and new things, right? So at some.
yeah, that's right. That's right.
At some point, how much do you have enough to say, okay, let's move on to the next step or something?
Right.
Because we're still gonna discover, you know.
Yeah,
other places, right?
I
Yeah.
think this is what I made for the spreadsheet.
Yeah, so that.
Okay, yeah,
So-
so
Yeah.
you have it.
No, I definitely, I get that, yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Here's a-
Tamara, this is the one you made, right? Yes.
I think so. We took the original list from the municipal code. They just changed that municipal code to include open spaces and it had a list. I
Like
think
this
that's
one,
what we
Excellent.
started with.
right, because this
that.
is, this
Here's,
is,
this is what we
That right
started
there.
with, yeah.
Yeah.
And
this
that
is,
we,
this is what
To start with.
we,
and that was missing a bunch of stuff we noted when we changed the ordinance. We
Okay.
noted that
Okay.
list was
Well,
missing.
I'll make a note of that, so that.
Yeah.
that makes
We knew
sure.
that was, yeah.
That seemed like a start, you know?
Anybody know where Alto Park is?
Does anyone know
Yes,
where
I do.
Mansfield is?
Yeah, you would, yes, I know. where
I
all-
overhit a golf ball into.
But I used to live over there.
Oh,
too.
is that-
Yeah,
It's-
That Mount Vernon
If you
and,
overdrive the 15th, the 14th hole at Bass Rocks, if you use the wrong club, you'll end up.
or you go to the absolute end of Mount Pleasant.
Right.
yeah, it's right across from the diagonal.
They just
from
cleaned
I
it up.
do know
They
where it
cleaned it
is.
up nice.
I didn't know
It's a
that was
nice
the
little-
name
It
of
was
it.
yeah, they've got-
overgrown
yeah,
and-
it's quite a sweet little
we
park,
have
a
Alto Park in here.
bunch of places like that. What?
No,
It
but I
must be
mean,
there because
Yeah. it's funny, is it doesn't,
documented
and it doesn't need anything more than what it has. It just has a
No,
little
and that's
sign,
kind of-
John Alto Park.
it. I commented, if
Oh,
someplace was shaped up like that, I made a note of that, and did a little kind of description.
Alright.
The other thing as far as signage goes is that if we decided, for example, that the Plum Cove situation or many other situations were kind of a mess, who's in charge? Who, would, we said that we'd like this and this and this to happen. Who's gonna make it happen?
So
DPW.
Yeah, we'll
Well-
make a recommendation to this.
also the city council, because like a lot of, I think the city council helped to like name some of these places. Like they give the charge for, so what am I saying? It's kind of like both and DPW and maybe a city council like this,
That's
a signage here.
Both ends sounds like
like
a
a path
formula
over.
for chaos.
Right, sure.
Sounds like.
Wait a minute, they're
Yeah.
supposed to do that.
But I think,
But-
I mean, DPW doesn't take orders from us. So
Right,
they
no.
have to, can't just be us and them.
So I just saw a job
would be-
posting for a beaches and park manager.
That's
That's a
coming
new
up,
job. That's a new
it's a,
job.
it's a brand new position, yes,
Yeah, well, there you go.
Beaches and Parks Manager?
yes.
Oh,
That's
That was in the plan. That was in the,
Almost
that was in the.
That was, it's supposed to, it's not,
Wow.
it's not the Parks and Rec Department, which was in that, but
It's a start.
Yeah,
Sorry.
absolutely.
But that would be like sort of. I know Dan wanted to tie that. I mean, that's a separate topic, but. I think it ties into this, because that would be a point person to tell them.
Right.
yeah.
And then they would be able to communicate that to, or it's just a point person for the parks and fields where this stuff could be. I mean, Mike hears us, but he's
Oh, yeah.
stretched everywhere,
Yeah.
right? So, I mean, that's why this position is being created to try to help.
So
Have
where you,
that point
where you
person
say
there.
couldn't find, where were you getting the list from? So like Little River Park, I'm gonna assume that's that area where you used to have kayak storage across from the.
It's Stubby Nose Landing, with Frenchman's Pier.
Yes.
We've got that, but a different name.
But
It's Stubby
There,
Nose, yeah.
but you got Little River Park somewhere. Where did you find the wording for that? Was that on the website?
I think it's in the
The
code.
wording, you mean the title?
Yeah, the title. Like, where did you get this list?
Municipal code, that right
It's on,
there.
oh,
Yeah.
okay. Oh, I see. Yeah.
Where-
Okay.
See,
I said it was up.
But they're all at Little River Park, all the alternate names are there on
Yeah,
various signs.
okay.
That's it.
but the name changed in 2005.
Frenchman's Pier and,
No, to
No,
Stubby
Stubby
Nose
Nose,
Landing.
yeah.
okay.
So this is outdated. The code of ordinances is outdated for that.
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
Yeah.
But it seems like, and I'm just thinking out loud, but in terms of making recommendations, wouldn't a next step be to figure out criteria to rank them in terms of the attention we think they deserve? So either on either
The
on
trouble is,
lack of clarity or number
Yeah.
of people who actually use them.
there are just a bunch of different ways to solve the problem. In other words, in some cases, there are 3 different types of faces used in signs, okay, that could, or there are 4 different dog signs, or there are, so they're kind of different, and there are different sizes and, you know, kind of thing, so.
Well, right, but
It's
so that's what
messy.
I mean by criteria. Like, it
Yeah.
could be like, signage creates confusion, that ranks higher. Science is just, or signage is
Oh,
just
yeah,
sloppy,
yeah.
and so, or there's no signage, and therefore people have trouble wayfinding. Like, a way to kind of rank, like, what are the reasons that would warrant attention sooner than later in
Yep.
terms of signage?
Yeah,
And that might be any number of things.
And if a sign is missing, a new one's gonna look like this going forward.
That's the
You
kind
don't-
of piece
You don't
that I
just,
think
you don't
is-
just tear out all the
Yeah.
signs that are still there. Eventually, they're gonna fall down, get snow, plowed.
I don't know.
Probably
My grandkids will take care of it.
So,
Like Magnolia Woods should have a sign that just says Magnolia Woods at the front, right? And then you drive in and you park and you get out and you look at the map, look at the map at the entrance, right? So, like,
Yeah. oh, that
there's-
one's a whole, yes.
There's gonna be a couple, yeah. So
And there's no
places like that.
signage at all in Magnolia Woods for the actual woods, the trail in the woods.
Yeah.
Mm.
That's
know,
right. Yeah, that too,
You
yeah.
know, but that should have a nice,
Yeah.
that should have a Ravenswood type
Yeah.
signage
Yeah.
thing, because it ends up over Graves Chasm, eventually,
It's a gym.
Yeah, it is a gem.
It's,
Yes.
yeah.
Maybe some people are trying to keep it a secret.
Well, I think that happens. You
Yeah.
alert people to these
Yeah.
special places in their neighborhood and they're like, oh no.
Oh, yeah.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
balance, it's
Yeah.
a balance. There are spaces, they belong to the people.
Yeah.
Okay, so one more category, and that is that I just, English major, I guess, I don't know. I did this as kind of a narrative. I gave the address and stuff, but then I described it. Not in Proustian terms, but I did describe it in a narrative format. Again, I began to be interested in this, and the committee at some point suggested that, maybe we'd want to publish something, not a great work of art necessarily, but I don't know, whatever you want to call it, a little guide that could be either a guidebook and or a QR thing or a digital thing. There's a variety of ways that could be done and could be in several different formats. And so the question kind of is does the committee think that's potentially a good idea, that we actually, having gathered all this information or whatever, because it strikes me that, people that might be of interest generally. But again, that's.
I enjoyed the narrative.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you weren't the only one that mentioned that to me, so. So think on that one, and it's like, fine.
This will be an ongoing topic for a while. and
Yes,
uh,
yes.
Appreciate everything that's been
Yep.
happening so far, and it's been.
So it's,
Yeah.
I think a digital resource is a good idea, as long as it has some place to live.
Yeah.
On the
Yeah, that's the
city's
other thing, to
website.
appoint someone to maintain all of this on an ongoing basis, because it's all going to change all the time. Something will get updated, they'll need a new sign, the website will have to be updated, like who's going to.
yeah, although I think there's a basic narrative that
The new
won't
Parks and
change
Beaches
that often.
person. Parks and Beaches person.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's right.
That's right. Well, we settled that one. That was easy.
Can we be part of that interview process? Just kidding.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway. Oh, the other thing that again, this is almost a straight side thought, but it's a little bit related, is that
If your things are just-
I noticed not just open spaces, but there are several, well, it gets back to the Joan of Arc situation, but how many of you know where the Civil War monument is? Veterans of the Civil War, Gloucester, Veterans of the Civil War. I'm sure you've all passed it.
Over by Stage Park.
That's
Nope.
That's World War
Revolution.
II.
No,
No,
Revolution.
this is-
Up from World War II, there's Revolution, I
Up from
think.
Civil War.
Is it the one by St. Anne's in the middle of the circle there, or is that 1812?
No, is it?
That's
Mill River?
Is it what?
Mill River.
Yes.
Oh, by Hooks.
Right
That's
on, right on the
Yeah.
corner.
Right before you get to the
And
restaurant.
it's very imposing. It's
It
like
is.
marble or something.
It is, yeah.
It's a beautiful,
It is.
sort of monument.
Yep.
Huh.
And then aside from that, there are numerous brass plaques and things like that,
That's right.
commemorating all kinds of things. And I'm wondering, do you think the veterans keep tabs at that? I don't mean
I
they
bet they
polish them or
do.
anything, but there's a list.
That they do.
Yeah, I would guess they might.
There's
yes.
one person who really takes care of that area. and they make sure that, you know, it's taken care of.
Well, I'm thinking of the whole city, you know, kind of.
Yeah,
or a listing
usually
or
it's-
something.
One person who has stewardship or, yeah.
Well, I'll check on that.
Okay, so anything on this?
I'm wondering if I should have addressed that in the administrative briefing about the new position. So I'm wondering if I could like say something out of order here with the
Well,
new
go-
staff
Kinda mess
person.
up.
No, and if, we- let's finish this one. If there's no other questions on access and sign, let's go back to administrative
Yeah.
real quick and talk about that position.
But what I'm getting just in a very general way is that the idea of some kind of narrative document or something is an okay idea.
Well, I think it's a great idea.
Okay. Let the minute show that Dave says it's a great idea. No, I just might make sure that
Yeah, so yes, Richard is staying on the committee, but also, yeah, there's a new position within DPW that will be managing parks. You know, the school has some recreational fields, but this guy will also interact with this
Or
guy
lady.
or lady. This
Sorry.
person, the person will be interacting with you know, the school's athletic fields. Yeah, it's exciting. Like you know, I saw the posting and I called our HR like, is this new? And it's like, yes, it is. So I'm really excited about it. I don't wanna, you know, I don't think we should like crush him right away, be like, listen, but like, yeah, you know,
squeeze him gently. How about
Yeah,
that?
right. But I do think it is, you know, I think it's related to like how much staff time had to be dedicated to beaches and some of these things, like, you know, we've been at meetings with Dan where, you know, Rose, who works in DPW, is picking up like schedules and doing it, and he's like, you know, Mike's like, we need to do something here, so I'm really excited about this.
Right, and our approach rather than crush them should be, how can we help you?
Yes. Then, crush.
We need to make that position.
Now then.
How can we help you to do what we want?
Let's make that position successful. We can help that person be successful.
Right.
First of all, here's what your job is to oversee. We've created the list.
Okay,
My quiz, where's the Civil War?
all right, I'm gonna move on to Dogtown delineation. If there are no other questions, we'll move on. Is there anything on that, Eric?
Yeah, it's still on standby. There are interested survey teams that have expressed interest. The goal to try to have something this fall, like a survey team ready to go. Don't have the cost of it, but it is not, this isn't this is the woodlots.
Mhm.
So it's that big chunk there, and the reason behind that is because there are unknown owners there, there are owners there, and then there's a lot that the city owns that we want to have consolidated into one parcel. I do think I haven't broached it with city staff yet, but there could be a parallel track with those big chunks on Dogtown Road to try to consolidate those, because they're all Article 97 links.
That's what. we
Should I throw
talked
up a
about.
map?
Yeah.
You want-
sure.
Yeah, I'll just do the map really quick. Sorry, I gotta find the tab. I have that up there. Just do the mass mapper for this.
Mass Mapper wasn't as accurate as our.
No, ours is good, but like,
This is faster.
this is just a little bit easier, and let me get this up here. So this is the area of focus. Will be, you know, this is a separate parcel. Oh, gosh, sorry. Click on them. Ours is better because if you click on it, but so I'll try not to click on the parcels, but you know, there's a lot here. This is showing, I think. know, there's a lot of, this is Article 97 and some watershed. This is a gross map, sorry, but we do have a lot of parcels here that have no protection, right? So, and also some that we don't know
The green
that we
ones.
own. Yeah.
You know, the green ones were was for.
Mhm. So it's not really a lot, but
It's for.
we do want, you know, the goal is to try to just find out if there are, you know, with the unknown owners or people that do own the properties, do some outreach, et cetera, but like have this be one consolidated unit that you can put a CR on. With these, I do think you could do a parallel track to have these consolidated. This is a compost, I think. And there's no plans on that staying for now, but, you know, this shouldn't be too heavy of a lift. It's kind of clear ownership from what I understand, because we took them
Yeah, it
in
is. It is.
the 80s, so I don't know the exact cost, but this is something that like any surveyor, it's not gonna be a heavy lift here. For a survey team here, it's gonna be kind of crazy.
Yeah, well, that's why one of the
why
discussions
you
was
wanted
to
it,
do the
yeah.
easier ones
First,
first and
right.
say, we
Right.
made progress. And then while that was going on, you could tackle the stuff.
right.
So you said there were several surveyors that were being considered. What's the,
That's the information I have.
Okay.
Bidding process or something.
I don't know if that's even in
Uh,
process yet. You know, when I find out more information, I'll have something, but this fall we should be coming to like you know, more certainty on the next steps here.
Yeah.
Sure. It has been sort of a crazy few months for DPW, so,
Little reprise, I think.
yeah. One other thing is that I haven't really wrapped my head around too, is like just what it means for the watersheds. Like right now, I think they're, are they Article 97? I mean, I think they are in perpetuity.
Right.
And there are some really compelling state grants for watershed lands. But then I'm thinking like, when you look at the mess of parcels in West Gloucester, you know, I'm not sure like if what we would prioritize or do one or the other, but I think now we're looking really at Dogtown.
Yeah, we are.
Sorry to be
Right.
scooting all over the map here, but yeah, so that survey project is these woodlots. That's what we're focusing on.
Yep.
And I don't think it's too heavy of a lift to maybe pursue this at the same time.
Yeah.
And then the hope is it's all one. With these two, it would be a big chunk. And then, you know, there's
It really
some
depends
of these
on-
up
on-
here that,
It depends on, you know, what the numbers are that it comes back.
yeah,
If-
yes, right.
You may end up doing survey light again. Granted, you want to do a lot, but you know, no pun intended. It may end
You
up,
sure it wasn't intended? But yes, yeah,
but you may end up, you know, just doing, say, the woodlots rather than the Dogtown areas, because that's,
it's more. The woodlots address a lot of, you know, there's a lot of these kind of contentious ownership encroachment issues
We
happening.
know that.
Um,
I'm just concerned that once that you do that and it's like, phew, we did that, okay, bye. And then I know the bigger picture gets lost, you know?
I think
that's
it's,
why it's step by step. It's post hill,
Yeah.
then do this, then do that, right?
Okay.
Yeah, one step at a time.
and you know, again, with the state. They've become very interested in, you know, kind of big land, not big land conservation, but land conservation, preserving 30 by 30. These kinds of things I think this project can tie into as well, so,
Fabulous.
right.
It's the dream.
I think the citizens of this event would like, it's a big deal. I think it would be a good
I think
political.
Be surprised how many, just assume it is,
Yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
They don't
I
see
think-
it,
I
they-
wouldn't be surprised. We used to have, Friends of Dogtown meetings and 100+ people would show up.
Prior to
All-
starting this, I thought it was just assumed, right?
Yeah.
Just assumed.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't it be?
Yeah, people do. Or it's like, oh, well, Dogtown is just a place and there's a compost thing there. But
Right.
Can you let them know that we keep asking?
Yes,
We would love to
they-
get more specific answers.
I do.
They're not gonna
um,
stop asking.
I ask, but it's just,
Still on the agenda.
the time and like the staffing resources, it's pretty much one guy, to
And
do
we're
it,
gonna keep
so,
asking.
right.
there
Again
goes
and
Eric
again.
again.
It's the staffing or resources to do the research on or just to. What is their next step?
It's, I think some survey teams have like, I'm not sure how, I don't have enough detail to really speak on it, but some have thought it too complex.
Some being people in city council?
No,
or-
the survey
surveyors.
companies, yeah,
Okay.
surveyors. But in terms of next, what was your
You say
question?
you
again?
need to hire a surveyor, that's the next step.
That's the next step.
Okay.
I think the next
And
step,
we need ones that can do like deed research.
so the
You're
next
going
step,
back in time to see, cause like there's so many different parcels and like. You have to map out where they are. Who knows if there's probably no monuments anymore. It was described. Where the ownership lines
Complex title
were.
work, basically.
It's a lot.
the next step is to do a request for responses or request for proposals.
Mhm.
And that really needs to be sent through the DPW and planning jointly. That's the next step.
Yeah. That is, I think. It's not like so I think, I'm not sure what, it doesn't have to go through procurement laws.
Okay, so
So it
that's
doesn't have
through
to
the
be like an
DPW.
open up, it's just straight through the
Then it's through
DPW, yeah.
DPW, yeah,
Mhm.
right, but they have to put that out there.
Right,
They have to have something on paper that says, this is what we want. And RFP is more formal and RFR would be just more envisioning, and seeing what people can come up with. But they actually have to do that.
Mhm.
And that hasn't been done yet.
no, not yet.
And DPW is the one that has to do that.
Well, if.
Because it's
procurement-
going through their department, yes. Yeah.
But their procurement is more open-ended than other city departments. They're more limited. As because the DPW doesn't have the same strengths.
There are people, as I've mentioned, probably ad nauseum, that do this kind of work detail for conservation land. I've suggested some of this, so I don't know how open, Mike or whoever it is to having one or more of these people kind of raise their hand on this.
Mm.
But what you describe, and yes, it's complex or whatever, but that's what they do, and they do it in a conservation context.
But they will need that RFP or RF.
Oh, sure. Oh,
So they
definitely.
need that first,
Oh,
right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Good. Anything
I'm
else?
hoping by the next meeting,
Okay.
there'll be something more, I think I say that every meeting.
I wasn't gonna mention it.
Right. I think, there was a big goal for it to happen in the fall.
Right.
While there's leaves off the trees, so sight lines are a little easier and things like this, but
Every
that
day of
needs-
fall, and then let's go.
right.
Fall of 25.
Fall just started.
Oh, gosh, yeah, you're right.
Well, it doesn't snow anymore. We can do it all winter.
Right.
Okay, I'm gonna,
Now that I've said.
I'm gonna move on. Thank you, everybody, for that discussion. So next up is upgrading Gloucester Sports Field. This was Dan and Eric, and if you have anything in his absence, this.
I think you may have had something about.
I was
this.
going, well, no, so there's
No,
more.
okay.
That comes at emerging issues.
Oh, I
sorry
see,
to
okay.
sound at ya.
All right.
I did want to support Dan to do this, and then that was what, June, I believe, and then July and August, I wasn't available to attend, and he didn't really give me like well, let's get together, meet a plan, and then he was sort of like we need to get a plan together, let me schedule something, and then
Hmm.
it never took off, but I would still like to be included in this task as it is near and dear to me.
Right.
Yeah, but I have no update. I do have, right, I'll bring up the emerging issue when we get there.
Yeah.
And this would fall under, you said beaches and parks or
I
beaches and ball
imagine.
fields?
All of it, yeah.
Okay,
So, we had a discussion with Mike just about, with Dan, me and Mike, and Alex, the community development director, just about like future needs for athletic fields, particularly Mag Woods and O'Malley.
right,
Mag Woods needs
a lot.
a lot, and we had that discussion on pickleball. That was the site for pickleball. However, it's, there are capital needs there. It needs to be leveled. It needs to, if we are doing something with surfaces there, there needs to be a deeper study. There's issues, parking and driving in and out of there always comes up. How can it be a multi-use field year round? It's a huge asset for the city, but it's, the original design, it was scaled back, the parking was scaled back, and that's become kind of problematic. Anywho, we need sort of a visioning process around Mag Woods. However, if you're gonna displace the soccer, lacrosse, other activities that occur there, you kind of need a place for them to go to in the interim. We don't really have that aside from like Newell Stadium
Swing space.
or like a swing space. So, and O'Malley also needs a lot of attention and sort of upgrades. It's time to rethink that space. So this is a very preliminary discussion at this time. There is a meeting that we have with the mayor, Dan, myself. I think it might be even next week, just to discuss Mag Woods alone. But we have to think about these upgrades. Eamon School area too, like the field there needs like a huge upgrade, but then that's in a larger context of if there's something happening with Plum Cove and Beaman. Nothing concrete at all yet, or even discussions of a plan, but like Beaman Field needs.
Don't create a
huge
brand new
help.
ball field and then tear it down 2 years later. Did we learn something? Did we learn something?
So anywho, it's
Oval though, I white.
and
Oh,
there's
parking.
it's the parking.
Parking,
Yeah.
of
And then
course.
Swinson as well is like this
Parking.
gym, but there's no place to
There's no
park.
place to, yes,
Um,
there's no place to.
Football's up at, it's a Parisi Field, like down on the water in that area, which
Yeah.
I've never seen them down there prior to this year, but I think it's working. It's a nice
Yeah.
spot.
So, this is sort of an emerging issue, but it's a big one, it's an expensive one, most likely, these, I guess I'll leave it at that, but, the Open Space Committee, the city might look for you guys. I'm not sure in what capacity here, but just, your voices will matter on this. But, right now it's just, there's no real plan yet, but that's what we're thinking is like something needs to happen at Mag Woods. It needs an upgrade and, O'Malley as well. I'll leave Beaman and Plum Cove out of it, but those two fields are sort of on the radar of like a future needs standpoint,
Right,
yeah.
but yeah, they certainly are, okay. All right, and I think there'll be more that plays out, with the new.
Right.
Director, they're calling that position. Great.
Yeah, I think it's
things-
Parks and Beaches Operations Manager.
Okay, yeah, so I'm sure
What
that
if-
that's.
But see, what about the Plum Cove Field? I know like And I mean, there's still the other
That's
field in
another one.
Magnolia too. Those both have parking, be it small. It's enough to get
Mhm.
a rotation of games in. I mean, there are spots, like, right, for a few years, there are some alternatives, so we don't have to do a total revamp of two giant fields altogether.
Right. You know, right, okay, so you're saying like, all right, let's say Magnolia Woods. You know, we prioritize Mag Woods. You know, O'Malley as is and Plum Cove as is, maybe even Swenson, there's no parking, but like.
There could be, couldn't there?
They're in Swenson?
Yeah, you could just drive back in that, there's a right of way there.
I mean, unless you're parking on the basketball court, but I'm not even sure. It's like a house right there.
No, you really park 'em
It's
out.
really tough.
Pleasant and kind of hooked
There's a
down.
gate
Yeah.
there that is
Yeah, there's
usually
a gate
encroached
too
on.
that's always
There's
closed,
an encroachment there.
right? But,
Between the street and the lot at that Plum Cove field, though. I mean, yeah, there's an old softball diamond that I think just the men's league uses, but that field is
yeah, it's pretty
big
big.
enough for soccer, for sure, and lacrosse.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just brainstorming, like there are other big spaces available. Yeah, it would be awful for the neighborhood for a few years to
Mhm.
use the oval, but it's not unheard of for 2 years, right? Like it's not
Yeah,
forever.
'cause You'd
It's not
also
every
need
day
like,
and it's not forever.
Right, and it's temporary while they build just the thought of taking on O'Malley and Magwoods at the same time just
It's
doesn't
too
seem
much,
feasible.
I mean, it probably
Right.
won't anyway, just
Yeah.
budget reasons.
And I don't know how, I
Like-
haven't been on the O'Malley field in quite some time. We're talking about the football track.
Mhm.
I haven't, like the ball fields in themselves are in really decent shape. Little League does an amazing job, and then the Nate Ross Field is in decent shape as well for the high school. So it's really just that football field, and I don't know who even uses it. I think probably
It's,
O'Malley Field Hockey,
Yeah,
O'Malley
sometimes
Soccer.
Flag football.
I
There-
think
Is there a
so.
flag football
My
league?
kids played flag football on it years
Yeah.
ago.
They did. They've stopped
Yeah,
doing
They
that
probably
though.
stopped now.
They don't do it anymore.
There's some, I think there's not like a official track, but there is some kind of track outfit that. uses it
Yeah,
for
and I think
running
like
as
O'Malley
well.
Academy uses it after
Something like
school
that,
and
yeah.
stuff, but I don't know how competitive they are there. It's like, just does need it. I'm not saying it doesn't need an overhaul, but
If you're gonna do Magwoods, we probably have, right. So
Like what's-
these are the sort of discussions that.
Yeah.
Well, if, it's just Magwoods is at a point with the parking, I'll just say it, like. You would have to expand the entry exit, not have people park on the highway. Probably move that back parking lot, like have that, but also
Yeah,
like
lose the
extend
road.
it.
Lose the road where you get a lot of parking. if
Yeah.
you lost
Well,
it.
and
and-
I
and
think could
access
you
the
go
whole
down and create
fields.
like a stairway up? I mean, there are
Right.
some,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's not ideal, but
But
there
you
could.
can't do it now. You would need a huge study.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And you would need to
Yeah,
make things more level if you're putting pavement, like,
That's
it'd be a
big deal.
massive undertaking, but I think the demand there for, if it's pickleball, if it's, I think you could it has a softball field, people have used it even recently, like I found out, like it's not completely dead.
they're not using it for competition. They're
It's like
using it just a
practice.
practice
Right,
field,
practice
yeah.
field.
But these are, you could get in lacrosse and
It wouldn't be
cross
terrible
country
to
meets,
revise
there's a lot
the
to do
original
there.
plan and actually attempt to do it as it was intended. Again, the scaled back plan is typically how we do it, right? Like,
We just saw it.
Yeah, it just, Green Street, same thing, right? Like it's just, we did what we could. But yeah, lot
Okay,
to consider.
But I'd have better details on what next steps are, but just this committee will probably be sought out for input on this.
The good thing about this is it's such a common, like there's so many interest groups who are invested in Magwoods who want to see it, like, if we
And the
start.
trails too, like hiking.
Exactly. So if we,
That corridor between
there
Ravenswood.
are a lot of people
Graves,
invested who, yeah.
I would envision public input meetings like they did with East Gloucester School,
Mhm.
you know, and then get sort of that thing going again.
Yeah.
You know, that would vision that, so. All right, I'm gonna move on, you know, just to keep things moving here. So the next up was Mag Woods, several issues. It was Dan. I guess we table that.
I think so,
tonight.
because
He's gonna have a
Yeah.
meeting, right?
Yeah.
He
the
does,
mayor,
he's
yeah.
gonna have as an upcoming meeting. I know that, I think pickleball is in that discussion too.
Mhm.
So I'm just we're gonna table that. And then the next up is emerging issues.
So I was approached by Emily Siegel, who runs Gloucester Education Foundation. And I used to work for them. So she kind of reached out to me knowing I was on this committee and knowing I have children who are starting school at O'Malley next year and then again in a few years. And she wanted to know if we had any interest in supporting them to revamp that front of the building concrete jungle, as she referred to it. Like in front of the rink, in front of, you know, where they put that new fish
Yeah,
mural.
right.
And I was like, I don't really know if this falls into open space. It seems more of like a very specific school
It's school property.
property
It's school
situation.
property. It's
I mean,
not-
but as would be the fields, right? So I don't know if that counts or not.
Yeah,
She's looking, you know, she just wanted to know if anyone had interest in supporting their cause. I said I would join as a parent in that capacity, and I would just mention it, that there was some talk a few years ago about beautifying that area, and then it was like, well, this is what we have money for, and a few plans were created, and then it was like, no, we're planting trees, and that's what, that was gonna be it, and then they planted some bamboo just to cover up some of the ugly space, took it down to put the fish up, anyway, it's a whole thing. I know my aunt did the designs, that's why I was like looking at them, like, these are really awesome, it's too bad we didn't, anyway, they wanted to do like some seating or whatnot and kind of create more of like a park area for older
It
kids.
is very concrete-y.
Yes, and yes.
red brick.
And those kids need a little distraction when they're all out
Yeah.
on that yard together. So I said, I don't really know. This doesn't really feel like open space rec. I mean, rec maybe. I don't think it's like really like a playground area. I don't think it's really,
I don't think
Um,
it fits, just my
I don't think it
opinion. It doesn't
Agreed,
fit,
yeah.
Only because
I like
it's.
the idea, but I don't think it fits.
Yeah.
Fit.
I'm still going to support it and lend my voice and attend those meetings, and
See
you
what
want
the
to know, I'll
gala,
let you know.
you going to the gala?
I am not
All
going to the
right.
gala. No, I'm not. But anyway, yeah, it would be lovely. Because when she originally approached me, she said they wanted to create recreation area at O'Malley. And I was like, yeah, talked about this totally. And I was like, you mean like the fields? And she was like, no, the concrete. I was like, oh, okay.
I
Yeah,
know somebody, a neighbor of mine asked me the same question,
yeah,
and asked me, and I said, I don't think so, so.
yeah.
You know,
It
I'm
seems
not
like they've
100%,
got
you
some
know.
funding to work with,
Yeah.
which,
Good.
but because it's school, it can come right out of the GEF funds, which, yes.
Right.
So, yeah, and if there's some left over, I'll see if they want to do the ball field.
Right.
Counts as school. Anyway, that was.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Are there any other emerging issues?
Yeah, I'm gonna do some trash talk.
Oh,
Now that the trash strike is over, I heard the mayor say that the new contract will be awarded next year. And I'm wondering if we might want to see if we can have it incorporated into it, picking up compost. You know, so that if that's part of it, you know, then we could maybe move forward with doing something about the compost field in Dogtown.
So the idea is that, yeah, because that was the whole thing about when we were just talking about the compost, the thing was what to do with the stuff, right?
That's right.
As you're saying, sort of tie in
Right,
the next contract, compost into the next contract.
right,
Okay, so that's the ask.
right.
Okay.
You're talking about lawn waste, not like.
like Black Earth, like they do food scraps, they do everything. All compost.
Right, but if we bring it up to them, if they wanna separate the two contracts, that's fine. But if we try to say, hey, now that you're doing a new contract, how we're taking care of compost.
Yeah, and there's several other options. I mean, it's not like there's only one.
Right.
Window of opportunity,
It's,
for
it's a-
sure.
When they do our leaf collection, where do they bring that? They bring that all up to Dogtown? You do the separate collection for leaf.
You just turn it over and compost it.
It's really good compost.
Yeah.
The Dogtown compost.
Yeah, they've shaped it up, unfortunately. So that it's more attractive.
Any other emerging issues? Hearing none. Adjourn, I want to review whether the only action item I heard was to
Acknowledge the annual report.
Acknowledge the semi-annual
No,
report,
yes.
review action items.
let's do that, because I think the next meeting would be October, is it 28th? Was the fourth, it's the fourth Tuesday, right? Or the third or fourth?
It's the fourth Tuesday, I believe.
That puts us at the 28th, right?
Yep,
All right.
for 20th. I don't know. I don't have holidays on here. There's nothing going on
Uh,
there. I feel
We could prepare for Halloween.
We have to prepare for.
right. So we all have to dress up.
It's a costume meeting.
Should we all do that?
I'll put it in the action items.
We're gonna dress up as Dan.
So, yeah, I have it reserved here.
Quite different.
You have it reserved?
Yeah, there's going to be an energy fair at the same time down here. So if you guys wanna get discounts on your energy bill before or after, right spot.
All right.
But I don't think that will, we don't really hear, there might be a little din of people.
What time is the fair?
Same time as our meeting. It's like is it 4 to 6?
Oh. Okay.
4 to 7. So right during it, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll be doing it.
But I don't think the noise is too bad.
I do.
No, there's been meetings there before during our.
Like city council.
City council. Yeah, it's not too bad. I have nothing else. I make a motion to adjourn.
Oh, do I do it first? Yeah.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.
Huh?
I can.
Oh,
send that and send it
perfect.
to
I
you.
think I got them.
You're gonna
I'll
take
clean
it
'em
with
up.
you, right?
Really quick tonight.
So you said you only had my computer. Did you steal that one too?
That was her. Yeah, we're good. It worked. Hey.